background to his rise to power at the age of just 16 in 54 AD. So, Gina, can you sketch out for us, please, the relationships with his immediate family?
Nero is the son of Agrippina the Younger, and she's the link to Augustus. This is very important because Augustus was the first Roman emperor, and Agrippina the Younger is his great-granddaughter, so directly linked. Nero's father is from an aristocratic Roman family, but dies when Nero is very young. When Nero is in his early teens, Agrippina marries her uncle, the Emperor Claudius. And Claudius already has a son by an earlier marriage called Britannicus, who could potentially be an heir to the throne, but is only a child at this point. So, since Agrippina, of course, wants Nero to become emperor, she persuades Claudius to adopt him so that when Claudius dies, Nero, being a little bit older, is in line to take over rather than Britannicus.
Which is exactly what happens. And Gina, Agrippina is really the linchpin then in all of this. I know she's a powerful woman, and it is thought that she poisoned her husband so that her son could become emperor. Is that right?
Yes, it's believed that he ate a dish of mushrooms that was either poisonous or poisoned, and that he died shortly thereafter, possibly after having been poisoned one more time for good measure.
Now, I may do this a few times during the programme, but do we think that she did actually poison him? Is it true?
Ooh, that is one of those difficult questions. It's universally the accusation in the historical sources. So it's the kind of thing that people would have said, even if it weren't true.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean it wasn't.
Which doesn't mean it wasn't, okay. So you've hinted there, Gina, at this jockeying for position amongst the imperial family with various marital alliances, banishments and executions and so on. A world that Nero was a close witness to. In fact, his own grandmother was imprisoned and his mother was banished for a while as he was growing up. But the fact is that Nero was seen as the legitimate...
about a further twist in the cost of living crisis as people's mortgage rates start to go up. That felt to me like a bit of a shot across the bows of the Bank of England not to move too precipitously in terms of putting up interest rates. Do you worry that central bank independence is at risk of being undermined?
Well, central bank independence is something that we've looked at as a committee and pressed on ever since I've been the chair of the committee, so going literally across the last couple of years, because there's always this tension between where the bank goes with rates and what the government might be wanting it to do at that point. I think it's fair to say we've always been satisfied when we've had the governor of the Bank of England and members of the board before us that they are behaving an independent way. And I suspect what the Chancellor is really about is not so much signalling to the Bank of England what he thinks it should be doing, but to the general public at large that these are very difficult times. And, you know, we can expect a fair bit of pain, I'm afraid, over the coming months. What he, of course, will also be looking at is what can the government do further to the measures they've already taken to try and ease that burden. But the reality is there's no magic wand to take it all away. And I think that's probably what he's saying.
All right, Mel Stride, got to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning. Thank you. Some other business news for you now. And the food, beauty and household goods giant Unilever is warning consumers to expect cost increases in coming months. The company behind 400 brands, including Domestos Bleach, Magnum Ice Cream and Hellmann's Mayonnaise, reported sales of €13.8 billion for the first 3 months of the year. That was up 7% on the same period a year ago. But Unilever says the war in Ukraine and the related increase in raw material inflation will add €2.1 billion to its costs in the first half of the year and €2.7 billion to costs in the second half of the year. Barclays has reported a pre-tax profit of £2.2 billion for the first 3 months of the year. That was down 7% on the same period a year ago, but it was better than expected. Barclays highlighted a big drop in credit impairment charges in its UK banking business as consumers borrowed less on their credit cards, with arrears rates also falling. Barclays also flagged a rise in income at its global markets division as it helped clients navigate market volatility caused by the war in Ukraine and by higher interest rates in the United States and the UK. And shares of Sainsbury's have fallen by nearly 5% this morning after warning that profits this year will be lower as inflation pushes up costs and eats into disposable incomes. The UK's second largest supermarket chain reported pre-tax profits of £854 million for the year to the 5th of March. That compared with a loss of £164 million during the previous year, when staying open during the pandemic and observing COVID protocols pushed up costs. But the company is expecting its non-food brands, Argos and Habitat, to come under particular pressure this year. And the owner of Premier Inn has returned to profit as COVID restrictions in its two main markets of the UK and Germany began to ease. Whitbread reported a pre-tax profit of £58.2 million for the year to the 3rd of March. That compared with a loss of £1 billion the previous year. Well, Alison Britton, the chief executive, said the hotel market in Germany is recovering at a slower pace than in the UK due to the higher level of government restrictions which have lasted longer. However, we have no reason to believe the market won't come back strongly in due course. Now, gold is often an asset that investors turn to in times of crisis, such as war or an upturn in inflation. So it may come as no surprise to learn that demand for gold during the first 3 months of the year was up 34% on the same period last year. Well, that's according to the World Gold Council, which says that demand for the metal was at its highest during the quarter than at any point since the final 3 months of 2018. Well, joining me now is the Chief Market Strategist at the World Gold Council, John Reid. John, welcome to you. I mean, what was really interesting to me was that the biggest area where demand upticked was in gold exchange traded funds. Was that being driven largely by institutional investors or retail investors?
It's a mixture of both, Ian. We see institutional investors using the ETF space, but also a considerable number of retail investors use it as well. So I think it's fair to say it's a bit of both.
Now, central bank buying was up on the previous quarter, but down year on year. Who's buying right now?
Yeah, we've seen decent buying from Egypt during the quarter, and some other buying as well taking place, India, for example. In fact, there were some decent purchases during the quarter, but also some decent sales. And that's normally seen when the gold price goes up rapidly. There are some central banks that buy gold from domestic production, and they tend to trade rather opportunistically. So when the prices are high, they're keen to let gold go at what is a good price. But I think the fact that we saw decent levels of buying in the first quarter, despite the high price, is reassuring that we'll see the trend of central bank buying continue.
What have the repercussions been of sanctions on the Russian central bank, which in recent years has been a pretty steady buyer of gold?
Yeah, it's a complicated one here. I mean, Russia's going to struggle to get gold out into the international market because of sanctions, including the sanctions on the central bank itself. So there's good indications that the central bank in Russia will actually restart purchases from its domestic mines. I mean, Russia produces just over 300 tons of gold a year, which is a good amount. And I can see the central bank buying quite a lot of that, although there has been reports of bar and coin demand picking up strongly in Russia as well, as Russian savers and investors are looking to protect their assets against the volatility in the ruble.
Now, demand from the jewellery sector was down 7% year on year. What were the drivers there?
Well, first thing, I guess, is just simply higher prices. Jewellery is price elastic demand, and when the price goes up quickly, buyers stand back from the market, particularly in countries like India, where they're very savvy about what the gold price is at any one time. China, which is the biggest jewelry market, was doing very well in January and February, but the imposition of lockdowns on Shanghai and other parts of the country has hit jewelry demand quite hard. So I'd say it's those two factors, really. Higher prices everywhere, particularly in India, and then the lockdowns in China, which, as I say, really hit demand towards the end of the quarter.
Very, very interesting that. Yeah, China and India, of course, big buyers of gold a lot of the time. And where are the countries where demand has increased more rapidly to compensate for that?
Not really. We've seen, in general, we've seen jewelry demand a bit sluggish during the quarter because of the higher prices.
All right, before I let you go, John, where do you see supply and dynamics for the next 12 months?
Well, we're going to see, I think, supply holding up pretty well. First quarter gold mine production was at a record level for the first quarter, and we saw a big pickup in recycling. On the demand side, it's really tricky, actually, because this geopolitical tension is not something we've seen at this level for a while. If you expect to see Russia active in Ukraine for coming months and quarters, I suspect we'll see higher inflation. I expect that will help investment demand, with, of course, the uncertainty from the war contributing to fears which tend to drive gold demand. On the jewellery side, I think higher prices that we're seeing at the moment will probably deter the strength. Central banks keep buying, I expect.
All right, John Reid, good to talk to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, still to come here on In King Live, we'll have a look at how global markets are doing this Thursday morning. And as you can see, a lot going on in the currency markets again. Stay tuned.
Firstly, we passed through a number of different ethnicities, a number of different religions on the trail. The trail starts at the Assyrian monastery of Al-Kosh, a 7th century monastery built into the side of a cliff. It passes through some of the old areas of Jewish heritage, old synagogues, and there's Assyrian carvings and reliefs on the walls as we pass through. You saw a picture there of the Yazidi temple, the holiest place in the Yazidi faith. So, it's this, you kind of experience the story of this part of the world, which is really a central part in all of our history. And I think that's part of the appeal. Of course, it's beautiful landscapes and it creates this wonderful opportunity for a cultural exchange. But I think for a lot of people, to be able to walk through those layers of history is something that is you can't do anywhere else. We take the security concerns very seriously, but I think the beauty of this trail is that we're creating something that is as safe as any hiking trail can be anywhere in the world, because we avoid all of the things that you mentioned in the introduction. So it's certainly a complex area, but it's also, we're at this wonderful calm time in this region, in the Kurdistan region. And so our trail moves from the west to the east, from close to the areas that were once under the control of the Islamic State towards the Iranian border. But mostly it passes through, this northern edge of Mesopotamia, this branch of the Silk Road, and you've got these layers of history and culture and faith. And over the last couple of years, we've been scouting all these old ways, these pilgrimage paths and shepherd's tracks and other sorts of ancient ways, and putting them together to create this safe experience for locals, for internationals, for everyone.
Well, it's all going on in the currency markets this morning. The euro has hit a fresh 5-year low against the US dollar this morning as concerns mount over what a switch off of Russian gas might mean for the Eurozone economy there. The euro struggling right now to hold on to $1.05. Well, the dollar's also hit a 2-decade high today against the Japanese yen. Meanwhile, sterling, that's off by 0.1% against the greenback. It's up by 0.25% against the euro. On the equity market, stocks have rallied in the Asia-Pacific region overnight after some reassuring company results and news that the Bank of Japan pledged to continue with its ultra-loose monetary policy. Tokyo, as you can see there, up by 1.75%. There are also gains in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Mumbai and in Sydney. Well, in Europe, stocks have also traded largely to the upside since the opening a couple of hours ago or so. Here's a current picture. All the main indices getting on for 1% higher at the very least. There's a deluge of company results out today to contend with. The Finnish telecoms equipment maker, Nokia, it's among the highlights. Its quarterly results beat expectations. The shares are up 3.5% right now in Helsinki. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory, currently 0.9% to the good. Investors again ploughing through an absolute blizzard of company results. I wish these companies would vary it a bit and not all put their results out on the same day. It's very frustrating for us in the media and also for investors. Anyway, let me tell you about some of the gainers. The leading gainer right now is Standard Chartered. That's up some 16% on its results. The medical devices group Smith & Nephew, they're up by nearly 3% on their results. On the leading downside participants in the FTSE, Sainsbury's there off by some 2.5%. Outside the FTSE, results again driving the market. The Lloyds insurer Lancashire Holdings, its shares up nearly 13% on its results, while the Irish building materials group Grafton, its shares are up by some 5% for similar reasons. As for the oil price, well, that's continued its trend this week of trading in a very narrow range. A barrel of Brent crude is currently trading at $105.66 a barrel. That is up 1/3%. Well, joining me now is the investment director at Killick & Co, Rachel Winter. Rachel, welcome to you. I guess we should start really with Standard Chartered. Absolutely shot the lights out.
Yeah, great results here, very unexpected. So we expected profits at Standard Chartered to come in just over $1 billion, and they've come in at $1.5 billion, so way ahead of expectations. And this was particularly unexpected because Standard Chartered is quite focused on Asia, as is HSBC, so they're often considered to be quite similar. And HSBC's results were quite disappointing, so many expected the same from Standard Chartered, and that's why this morning's very strong results are particularly impressive.
Now, we also heard from Barclays. Again, I mean, the numbers themselves were actually pretty good compared with where expectations had been.
Yeah, not bad. They had a 10% increase in income, which was definitely good, but I'd say the results were quite mixed. So they had a very strong performance from their trading division, but M&A was quite weak, and they've also had a couple of fairly major errors over the last few months, and one of those is being investigated by the SEC, and that has caused them to have to put some money aside for that. So I think that is a concern. But what we are looking at with all the banks now is their interest income, because interest rates are on the rise, and we want to see that banks are benefiting from this, and that does seem to be the case with Barclays, because if we look at the UK in particular, they experienced a 5% increase in net interest income.
Absolutely. While we're on the subject, I should remind viewers we've got Alison Rose from NatWest on tomorrow. They'll be updating the market tomorrow. We also heard today from Sainsbury's. I mean, they're the main disappointment this morning in the index, I guess.
They are, and actually the results weren't bad. They were pretty much in line with expectations. But I think what sent the shares down this morning was a comment about the outlook and how uncertain it is. So Sainsbury's is really battling with higher cost inflation. They're under pressure to pay their employees more. They're dealing with consumers having less money because expenses are going up so much. And at the same time, they're trying to keep their shareholders happy. So it's very difficult to do all of those things. And I think it is going to be quite a difficult few months for the supermarkets.
What I thought was really interesting about the Sainsbury's statement, though, was that Simon Roberts, the CEO, was saying that they thought their inflation would lag that of the market more broadly. Does that mean they're taking a hit to their margins, or is it just the fact that you've got Asda and Morrison's under new ownership and potentially not with the freedom to cut prices in the way they did?
There is an implication that they will be taking a hit to their margins. So they have said they will be investing heavily in keeping some prices low. And surely that has to mean they will be taking a hit to their profit margins.
What did you make of Unilever's numbers? Have you had a chance to look at those?
I have. So these were not too bad. So they have raised their prices by 8.3% over the last quarter, which really is quite a rise. That's because of cost price inflation. And because of those prices going up so much, they have experienced a volume fall of 1%. And a big concern with Unilever is that many of their brands are seen as being quite easy to substitute. So if they do put their prices up too much, we do expect to see consumers switching away to cheaper alternatives. So I do think if they put their prices up more, then that volume decline could become a real issue.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what we've seen in inflationary episodes in the past. People do switch more to own label products. I mean, which of the fast-moving consumer goods groups would you say were most at risk of that hitting them?
I would say Unilever. They've really lagged behind their peer group over the last few years, whereas competitors such as Nestle and Procter & Gamble, they do seem to have more of a unique range of products, and they do seem to suffer less in terms of volume when they put their prices up.
All right, Rachel, got to leave it there. Always good to see you. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Ian King Live, the disruptors wanting a slice of the business-to-business payment sector and its trillions of dollars. Don't go away.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Turn it on. Turn it up. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
Smartphone.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Hello, good morning and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 28th day of April, the year 2022, with the time now 10:38 from the hearts of London. And it is the Thursday edition of The Morning Show. I am Archie. I'm going to be your compere or your captain from now till 1 o'clock when the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, I salute each and every one of you and I welcome you to the show. To my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, I salute you all. And to all presenters on Starr Radio UK, I salute you. Let me say good morning also to Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, Dr. Morton, good morning to you. And as I would say to all and sundry, but do me a massive favor. One share will be very, very good for me from you. What about that? Let me say good morning to Tosino all the way in Moscow. To all my lovely listeners in Nigeria and viewers. And also, those of you in South Africa, those of you in Ghana, those of you on the African continent. You know why I want to acknowledge you? I know how much it costs you to listen or watch us, but you do it religiously on all the programs that will bring your way. My goodness, I salute you all. Once again, welcome to the program. Okay, so from now till 1 o'clock, as I've said, this is how the program is going to go. Maybe it's the first time of tuning in on a Thursday morning to watch us or listen to us. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We're going to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds known as global trotting. Then after that, we will go to Nigeria to have updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. Then we continue to look at all the other stories from every part of the African continent. As I say, if it's making the headlines, why not? We'll touch on it until we get to the UK front here. From archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, I promise you, I'm going to touch on it. So once again, welcome. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Okay, so the quote for the day says, just as it is the desire of most women to have a child someday, it is equally the desire of every human being to be successful in whatever they do. How true is that?
From the moment that I wake up,
that is by way of the quote for the day. You want to be successful in whatever you are doing. What are the plans? What are you moving? What are you doing there? Well, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now moving on straight to the weather front. On the weather front, yesterday was so dull, cold, and I dried some stuff outside. I was like, am I going to get a glimmer of hope of a sunshine? No. But in the evening, I took them out, and then this morning I decided to maybe just go and air it again. And I touched them, and they were dried. I said, okay, well, let me tell you what is going to happen today. Now, this afternoon, it will be dry with spells of sunshine. However, patchy cloud cover will tend to thicken through the day. Now, it's going to be turning rather cloudy by the evening. At first, this evening, it will be largely cloudy with the odd shower possible. However, skies will gradually clear overnight and it will become dry towards dawn as well. Cloud may develop for some areas as well. Now, when it comes to the temperature is going to be 17 degrees, or lower is going to be 7 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level moderate, and pollution is going to be low. Sunset is going to be 2018, and sunrise for tomorrow morning, 05:39 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's take a quick break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, so keep it navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio Travel App that I can show every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:44. And what is your travels wherever you find yourself across the globe? I mean, wherever you find yourself, because we have got a worldwide listenership, and therefore, wherever you are, if you want to tell us about the traffic that is going on there, we say it. It will be very good for anyone living in that particular area. Okay, so now let's crack on. On the underground this morning, Bakerloo line has got minor delays between Elephant and Castle and Queen's Park. Northbound only due to an earlier faulty train at Piccadilly Circuits. Good service on the rest of the line. On the district line as well, minor delays due to an earlier faulty train at Barking. Hammersmith and City lines have got severe delays due to an earlier faulty train at Barking. Valid London Underground tickets are being accepted on London buses and C2C services. But keep your eyes on the roads, I'll keep you navigated, I promise I'll upon. Now on the Metropolitan line, they are running a special service on the Metropolitan line until further notice, so please check before you travel. And as you know, on the Northern line, still until mid-May, there is part closures there, so please check before you leave. Check it out. And TFL Rail has also got some incidents there, minor delays between Paddington and Reading Heathrow while they fix a track fault at Paddington. Good service on between Liverpool Street and Shamfield. Then aside, all the underground lines, other underground lines are in good service. London Overground, DLR, London Tram, they're in good service there. I'm moving on straight to the major roads in London. A12, A24, A4, Central London Red Routes, and South Circular A205 have all got closures there. When it comes to A41, serious delay. So please check before you leave. You don't get yourself stuck in any traffic. But keep your eyes on the roads. Now on the river path this morning, the Woolwich Ferry has got a reduced service. A one-boat service is operating until further notice. Monday to Saturday, 07 to 18 hours. Sunday, 11:30 to 19:30. Public holidays, 07 hours to 18 hours. No service. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day. Is that going to last that long? Well, keep your eyes on the roads. Now, finally, on the National Rail, across country, Great Anglia and Southern have all got special service. And then First Haul Trains, Grand Central, London North Eastern Railway, and Northern Rail have all got minor delays. And as I would say, well, check before you leave. But remember, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be. Continue to keep your eyes on the roads and have a lovely, jubbly travel.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK. It's now gone 11 minutes to the top of the hour. It's now time for Global Trotting. Yes. What are some of the stories making the rounds when it comes to Nigeria, where in the next quality 11 minutes we'll be having Ms. Olayomi joining in to bring your way. Electoral Act. More commissioners resign as Buhari's ministers refuse. Okay, and then it says at least 13 commissioners, the details of that, have resigned their appointment in Sokoto State ahead of the primary elections in accordance with the Electoral Act, bringing the total number of commissioners that have resigned to 36. Resigned in order to contest election to over 60 across the 36 states. Now, border reopening, clearing agents knock federal government saying closure disastrous. Now, clearing agents operating in the nation's maritime sector have taken the federal government to cleaners over the recent reopening of 4 land borders. Well, everybody's looking at how to protect their cakes, right? Okay, and a Nigerian businessman has been jailed for fraud in U.S. Picks PDP nomination form after he picked the PDP nomination form. And then we have another story. 6 killed in Lagos Ibadan Express crash, and a Nigerian soldier working with ISWAP terrorists kills himself after he was arrested. Did he kill himself, or did somebody kill him? Maybe because he was going to come up with some stories of who or what exactly is going on. This and a lot more going to be coming your way when Mr. Olayomi joins us exactly at 11 o'clock. So stay tuned, don't you go away. But when it comes to these other parts of the world as well, what is going on? What is going on? Well, let me tell you more about what is going on there. Yes, I can tell you. Okay, yeah, just bear with me. Okay, boom, good. Okay, now when it comes to other parts of Africa as well, now Burkina Faso, Guinea requests more time to present transition plans. Well, we have the ECOWAS, the sub-regional body, trying to flex their muscles there. Well, last Monday or Tuesday, we had the Malians are releasing the former president from house arrest and then giving him the chance to also have encounter with whoever he chooses to. Well, I thought that maybe that gives them a glimmer of hope and therefore they could do something about it. But I don't know what restrictions are still imposed on them. But we'll be bringing you more on that front. But Burkina Faso and Guinea are requesting for more time. So give us some time. Let us put our house in order and then we can come back to see when we can return the country to a civilian rule. Okay? And then some other stories. Well, interestingly, in Ghana, well, when one of the, what do you call him? The vice president of Imani. I was trying to get one of the outspoken person or critics of government, Mr. Kofi Bento, head of the Elon Musk's set to take over Twitter. and the fact the amount that he was paying for the takeover, he decided that he thinks that it's better for Elon Musk to actually buy the whole of Ghana. Do you think that is a way forward? Well, he's telling you now, do you know what? Ghana, we've got our we've got the lithium, which you use for the manufacturing sector. That's your cars and stuff like that. Well, so he wrote, "Dear Elon Musk, please buy Ghana. You worth more than our total GDP, and we have lots of lithium. Okay, you won't buy us. Just buy. If you won't buy us, just buy one region. We have 16. So please call. Maybe Nigeria will say, come and buy us, maybe the southern part, or buy the whole of Nigeria. What do you think about all that? Well, a lot more going to be coming your way. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And moving on to some other stories making the rounds as well. War is evil. UN chief visits destroy town near Kyiv. And then Putin warns against outside intervention in Ukraine. Well, he thinks that he should be left alone to continue to unleash his venom on Ukraine. But it looks like, well, it has become inevitable that, well, it's just a matter of time that everything will just result in a third world war or whatever it might be. And therefore, the proxy war will have to go on. Maybe they sacrifice Ukraine and then maybe teach Russia a lesson. What is going to happen? Russia is saying that, you know what, Britain is quite close. We could get to them quicker, and therefore also threatening that they go. But what do you think about all that? We'll be bringing you more on that front. Push Russia out of the whole Ukraine, says the UK Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss. So what do you think is going to be happening there? And a lot more going to be coming your way. A man has been charged with 4 murders over house stabbings. A man has been charged with 4 murders over house stabbings. Joshua Jacks is charged with murdering 4 members of a family at a home in southeast London. We'll be bringing you more. The Labour figure made lewd comments to MP. Claim a Welsh MP alleges a shadow cabinet member made lewd and sexist comments about her. Now we have trouble, right? Now everybody is coming out to say somebody did something untoward against them. I'm not saying that when people are saying that it's not true. No. Far from it. What I'm trying to establish is that maybe they are peers. You know, when they go around, they drink. Okay, and then when people drink, then they lose a bit of. I don't drink, so I don't know much, but they lose a bit of their marbles there, and therefore they'll be cracking jokes, not something that in their normal fray or thing they will be doing, but then they'll be doing that, and then somebody might just say something that is I think that jokingly, I've made some statement, and some people will laugh over it, but it seems that now whether people make, oh, you are looking pretty, ooh, you look sweet, oh, you look that, and then think, boy. Well, what do you think about all that? A lot more going to be coming your way. It is Starr Radio UK. India struggle to cope as a heat wave intensified. Now, experts say India is now recording more intense, frequent heat waves that are also longer in duration. Well, so what is the way forward? Now, soldiers passed off killed civilians as rebels. More than 6,400 civilians were killed by the Colombian military and passed off as enemy combatants. Yeah, we'll be looking into that. Israel Prime Minister to pay for families' food after criticism. Naftali Bennett will now cover the 7,400 monthly bill, which he insists was within the rules. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And Bitcoin has become official currency in Central African Republic. So these are some of the stories making the rounds in the world today. It's 3 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll be crossing over for me to bring you some music before we continue with the show. But Parliament's culture can create toxic mix. That's what the minister is saying. The Defense Secretary says late hours and drinking are a problem as female MPs complain of sexism. Exactly what I said earlier. A man has been in court charged with missing woman's murder. Andrew Befield is charged with the murder of Katie Kenya, who has not been seen since the 22nd of April. All right then, this and a lot more going to be coming your way. Don't you go away. Stay tuned. Teacher strike over LGBT Artists Council talk and a lot more coming your way. Stay tuned. Enjoy this music uninterrupted now.
Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
To Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, who is also joining us. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Kweke to join in to bring you updates from Nigeria, the goodness of God. A cover version by the Joyful Way Incorporated.
I surrender now, I give you everything.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio
everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say order, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 5 minutes past the top of the hour. We should be having Mr. Olayomi joining us any moment from now. But until then, let's quickly just have a look at some of the other stories that is making the rounds from the Nigerian front. He will be touching on some of them. My presidential ambition driven by credible leadership, says APC presidential hopeful, is one of the stories. I'm going to bring you more details about who said that. Nasarawa PDP to disqualify aspirants with questionable credentials. Interesting. Who set the bar and what are the credentials? If I think that somebody is going to be atoning my flesh, I add whatever credentials or disqualification criteria there, and I decide you are disqualified because of that credential. Is it people who have joined IS before, or is it people who have affiliation or have been supporting or been praising terrorism or attacks that is going on, or separatists or what? So we'll be looking into all those stories in a moment. How APC guideline puts Amechi, Ngige, Malami, others in a tight corner. Now let me bring you more of that whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koike. Okay. Just bear with me. Was trying to get some story, but it seemed to have eluded me. Now, Nasarawa State Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Honorable Francis Orugu, has appealed to all aspirants seeking for elective position in the party ahead of the 2023 to ensure that they present genuine credentials to avoid litigation and disqualification. Now, what does he mean by that? Now, he gave the warning while addressing aspirants are seeking for various elective seats ranging from governorship, Senate, House of Representatives, and State House of Assembly seats shortly before the commencement of screening exercise. Now, Orugu disclosed that the party will be mild in other deficiencies of aspirants and will be tough on issues of certificate forgery. Now, according to him, we can't afford to lose a seat after election, allowing an aspirant for general election. Election is like an exercise in futility. Now, while urging all those vying for elective positions to fulfill their righteousness especially in ensuring the payment of all dues, saying all the charges will be used for the service of members of the 18-man screening committee. We have 18 persons in the screening committee, and the party in the state will take their responsibility from accommodation, feeding, and allowances, Orugu said. Now, Orugu declared that the party needed nothing less than 9 million naira to pay for hotel and feeding of the screening committee members, which will be almost a 1 month's assignment. Well, there's going to be interesting times in Nigeria. The question is, as some are alluding that, oh, there's going to be election, others are saying, no way from hell that there's going to be any election in Nigeria. But what do you think? Maybe you have a different thought of about the whole thing. I want to know what you think about that. Okay. I think we have Mr. Olayomi joining in now. So whilst we wait for him to be settled, and then we pick him up. As I pick him up, I'm not going to pick him up with a car, but pick his feet live. Let me still continue to bring you one other story from that front. Now, my presidential ambition driven by credible leadership, says APC presidential hopeful. So who are we talking about here? Presidential aspirants on the platform of All Progressive Congress, APC Dr. Ibrahim Dauda, has said he decided to vie for president of Nigeria to provide credible leadership for the country. Now, Dauda, who is one of the youngest aspirants in the race for APC presidential tickets, made this known when he presented his policy document titled, okay, let me put it that way. That's how to put it, but no, titled, okay, it's supposed to be titled, Nigeria First to Leadership in Abuja yesterday. He said his first priority is to redirect the country onto the path of credible leadership. Well, we'll be bringing you more on that front once we have him on. But now I can tell you shortly, I've got the one and only, yes, Mr. Olayomi, who has joined us. And let me say massive good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. And we welcome you to Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And it is the 28th day of April 2022. Just coming up to about 11 minutes past the hour. And I'm going to slightly come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing very well, and it's good to be back again on a very beautiful Thursday morning after a very beautiful program yesterday on Niger Voices, and I'm doing very well. The family are doing very well, both here and back in Nigeria, where a lot is happening as usual. But we will be giving all the news and the headlines as we have them, this morning again to all our listeners that are geared up and ready for the morning show, and most important, the headlines and the news coming out of Nigeria this morning.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi for you. But as my norm is now, before we move on to the news that is making the rounds, let's look at what was discussed yesterday on the Niger Voices, and the fact that people were calling in. I think we're going to be extending that program to 8:30. So instead of finishing at 8 o'clock, so that we can give people the ample time. I saw that lots of people were trying to call in, but we couldn't go beyond that because we've not told. So, henceforth, I think we'll do up to 8:30 for the sake, because listeners, we are doing the program just to make sure that you are enjoying it. So that is a good one. So Yomi, now what was discussed yesterday in a nutshell? Yeah.
Well, just to summarize, if you're not aware, we have a program called Niger Voices that have been going on air, for almost 4.5 years or thereabout. This comes up every Wednesday, between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That the production might probably be increased with another half an hour, especially because, we now have a lot to discuss in Nigeria. And like I was saying yesterday, it was just about 289 days. It has actually dropped down by a day today, which is now 288 days before 2023. Yesterday was all again about, the conversation where we had to play 18 minutes of the audio from the leader of the social cultural group Afenifere. There were also the Ohanize that had this conversation in Abuja. The focus point was, will the northern part of Nigeria ever allow the southeast or the southwest to hold on to power? I was able to pick up so many points from what he said yesterday, which was why we had a lot of caller that called in as well. Part of what he said is, I am 94 years old. That means I might go anytime. The second point was, Nigerians, where we should be and not to deceive ourselves. He talked about the historical subject has been said enough in terms of the history of Nigeria. Then he also said they don't want the southeast. Who is it that doesn't want the southeast to have the time for being the president of the country, even though we have a lot of them that are also going to be contesting? These are the northerners, according to the leader of the Afenifere. Northerners don't want to leave power. He said this categorically, and he said that the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, was playing the minds of people like the leader of the APC, national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Tinubu, that is currently in Saudi Arabia. I saw Atiku has just arrived. It looks like some of them are now preparing for this prayer ground by going there and plead to the God, to allow them. He also accused Jonathan of saying that he will be used because Jonathan has had his time. He also said it is not by force if we should still want to be in Nigeria. He also said we are now at the crossroad. The North doesn't want to leave power. He talked about the 1954 Constitution, that also the backward area, it was actually referring to the northern part of Nigeria. He talked about the autonomy, that at some point when we have the eastern region, we have the southeastern northern embassy here in United Kingdom, and the current embassy at the Nigerian High Commission at number 9 Otumbaland is currently being owned by the western region that has now been converted to the current Federal Republic of Nigeria that we have. And the last point is, the problem of Nigeria is Buhari. This was all you missed, and I hope you won't miss that when we come again next week, Wednesday, for more focus on Nigeria, self-determination, restructure, election, 288 days. Be rest assured that Star Radio UK will be on ground and outside to give you all the news and headline coming out of Nigeria. And I'll be coming back again now to you in the studio. But I cannot tell you that the court proceeding for the 1999 Constitution head on straight in Ado-Ekiti today, and that case has now been adjourned again to 11th of May. Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. If you're sending money home to your loved ones, especially at this very difficult time of the crunch economy, likewise in Ghana, but most important in Nigeria, why not try Send Waves? If you're doing it for the first time, use the code S for Star, R for Radio. All the news and headline can be found on our website, www.starradiouk.com. I'll come back now again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you. I'm bringing you updates from Nigeria. That was just a summary of what took place yesterday on the Niger Voice. It comes your way every weekday, every Wednesday, my apologies, every Wednesday from 18 hours to normally from 18 to 20 hours. But now we are doing from 18 to 30 hours so that the callers can be able to call in and you can share your take as long as you want. Okay, now let's move on to the stories that is making the rounds today that we have so far. Now, Electoral Commission, we're talking about 288 days for the general election to take place. We have some people who have the view that the election will not take place. We have others who are thinking that yes, the election will take place. We have all the aspirants running helter-skelter, trying to put their house in order to do it. But we have in some other states some electoral officers or commissioners resigning. Can you give us a bit detail about that?
Well, that is the norm, according to the constitution that is also being challenged, with so many lot of Nigerians. But that constitution is still going to be used, according to the current dispensers that we have at the moment. So you're quite right. Numbers of people must have to resign for them to contest. And that is not just happening in Sokoto State, where a lot of people have now resigned. It is also happening, within, the civil servant that probably might have, or commissioner rather, that might have interest, in this current, that means, commissioner working whether from the state level or the federal level. What we have is at least 13 commissioners have resigned their appointment in Sokoto State ahead of the primary elections in accordance with the Electoral Act, bringing the total number of commissioners that have resigned in order to contest election to over 60 across the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Interesting. So their resignation is in line with they now putting their nominations in. Going to their hats into the ring for the contest, right?
Well, you're quite right. The remaining commissioners, are those Ito Manning, Minister of Finance, Environment, Youth and Sport, Land and Housing, as well as Career and Security. Other commissioners who resign are those of Commerce, Work, Water, Resources, Solid Minerals, and Religious Affairs. More of those who resign include the Secretary to the State Government, Malam Sahidu Umar, and the Chief of Staff. It looks like they also have an eye to the big office. If the Chief of Staff and the Secretary to the State Government says they also think they might turn things around in Sokoto State. Sokoto is not the only state where commissioners have resigned. In Kano State, no fewer than 10 commissioners have resigned, while in Delta State, at least 9 have stepped down. The case in the same in Kwara State, where no fewer than 7 commissioners have stepped aside, while in Bayelsa State, at least 5 have resigned. In Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu recently asked members of his cabinet seeking to run to office must now resign. But it looks like the one from the presidency have not done the needful, but they still have a bit of time because they must resign before the primaries of the current, according to the Constitution. The one of interest that have also put his head to say, I think I can change things around, is the Minister for Education that can afford 100 million naira APC presidential form while ASU is still on strike, according to the mouthpiece at real_Amaka on Twitter.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In our North London studios, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. In the South studios here, I am Archie, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. But continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones wherever you find yourself. Okay, now moving on to some of the other stories making the rounds as well. Now, we know that the border was shut, due to the president saying that they're trying to protect the homegrown rice to see to that market flourishes. Now, which of the borders have been opened so far? Because it happens that the clearing agents are now upset about government opening some borders. What is that about?
For almost 2 years, Nigerians had to suffer, the closure of the border between the southwest and some other part of the country. But it seems that now has become something of the past. But stakeholders have now expressed mixed reactions over the reopening of 4 land borders almost 30 months after the closure on October 15, 2019 by the federal government, purportedly to crush smuggling of goods into the country. But the argument is, what has then happened? Has that changed? As the smuggling of goods now become thing of the past, that the government have decided to open the border, that we know, or is it just that the election that is getting closer? And according to one of our comments today on our transmission says, don't mind Nigerian politicians, let them go to Jerusalem or Saudi Arabia. Their evils are chasing them about. God is not mocked. That is coming from Mrs. Comfort that is listening to us here from London. Again, this expression also means that after 30 months, some industry stakeholders gave kudos to the government for reopening. Others say the closing in the first place was misplaced, illegal, and did not achieve anything positive. Which of these borders has now been opened? The federal government last week approved the reopening of Idiroko border that is as the most closest to the southwest of Nigeria, which is the Yoruba side, to the Benin, and likewise the Jibaya, Kamba, and Ikom local and the Ikom land border. Again, all these borders were closed after the government believed it was not worth it. Recall that after much plea in December 2020, reopening 4 out of the 8 major land border it had shut in 2019, Seme, Ilala, Magatari, and Mufan under phased reopening arrangement. The Nigerian Customs Service, NSA, in a circular that was signed by the Deputy Controller General, Enforcement and Inspection, retitled 4 additional Nigerian border posts, directed the immediate reopening of the 4 other land borders. So Nigerians can now move freely among this border, but the question is, what did it achieve in the 30 months of closure?
Well, 30 months of closure, but it doesn't mean that now people are allowed to bring like rice in, or the border is open so any transaction can take place, or still the border is opening but you cannot bring the rice in.
Well, you know, the question is, it's not just the rice that we're talking here. I was actually listening to, a video that was made about some weeks ago. Even those that were purchasing items from Nigeria and taking it back for their own personal use, whether they were running a business like our mothers that were running hairdressing, were literally not allowed to take anything to go through. And the question is, rice will still not be allowed to be bring in, but at least you don't have to go through the back end. You probably just go through the normal route. Then you can get to wherever you want to go through those borders, because there's a lot of movement, but those movement was short for 30 months. But like we say, what did it achieve? Because we know that there was still influx of terrorists that were still coming through most of this borderline. I think about a couple of weeks ago, we saw, where terrorists were also, stopped from the Benin government, in that part of the country. Likewise, the ones that were not closed have allowed jihadis, ISWAP, Boko Haram to influx through the country. And I was actually listening to this morning, and maybe we should just hear, what he has to say. Good morning to those that are watching us, Aziz, all the way in Florida, and all our listeners. I picked this up, this morning, where we know, according to the DSS, have now said we must be security conscious because there will be an attack in the country. But this is what we can say from this interview that was granted to a former DSS assistant director that spoke in New York in one of the broadcasts that we picked up.
Stated this in a statement where he explains that the objective is to launch further attacks on critical infrastructure and other public places frequently visited. He also warned managers and owners of worship and relaxation centers to be cautious and implement basic security measures to deter the threat.
Interesting.
Now, to make sense of all of this, let's speak with the former DSS Assistant Director, Dennis Amakri, who joins me via Zoom from New York. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. This alert about the DSS, what do you make of it coming out this time?
Well, I think it's thank you very much for having me. I think it's a very timely intelligence for the public to use and then get themselves prepared for the kind of threat that we are facing today in society.
From experience, how seriously would you say Nigerians take a lot of this nature?
This is a very serious threat, and I don't think we should take it jokingly, because the DSS has come up with so many different kinds of alerts, and the alerts have come true. And of course, to prevent it depends on how we deal with it, because now it has alerted people to be very careful. This is the Salah period, the festive period, and then take care of their churches and mosques, and then of course relaxation spots. And this is the time to wake up and start doing those things.
Well, we're going to leave it there. And again, the question is, 30 months of the closure of the border, the north was literally left open to allow influx of unknown gunmen, terrorists, invading the territory of different part of the country. Star Radio UK, 28th of April 2022, 28 minutes past 11. I come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi keep bringing you up just from Nigeria. But a quick one on the border closure and the clearing agents. Now, so the clearing agents taking the government to court. What are they expecting? Because if you say they are going, eventually taking them to the cleaners, are they looking for compensation? Or do they think that now, because of the border opening, it has caused brought about too much work, or it's now affecting them, impacting them negatively? What do they want there?
Well, I mean, a lot of people take the government to court. Whether there is a outcome of it is something. Remember, Chief Sunday Igboho took the government to court and he won at Ibadan after the invasion and almost assassination attempt on his life in the home after the 1st of July 2021. 2 people were killed. As we speak right now, those 2 bodies have not yet been recovered from the federal government. Yes, there was a case that was one of 20 billion naira has to be paid to him. The government has actually also, said that they will appeal that. But the question is, would it make any impact? Yes, according to individuals or groups of people, you can take the government to the court. But I'm not sure this government is a government that is listening. That was part of what Pa Ayo Adebanjo said, the leader of the social cultural group Afenifere, that literally said that why would you want to kidnap somebody like Nnamdi Kanu when even Irish that has been part of the Great Britain since 1707, because I noted that down, still wants to leave and become their own, and they can still have a roundtable conversation with the current leader, Boris Johnson. So he sees no reason why Buhari cannot sit down with people like that are demanding the self-determination, like Nnamdi Kanu and the Yoruba, Professor Banji Akintoye and Chief Sunday Adeyemo, that have been campaigning for a peaceful dissolution of Nigeria.
Well, listeners, a bit of information there for you. Let me say good morning to Anthony Adedeji and Amaya Ajigene. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Thank you very much for your support all the time. Okay, listeners, it's now gone exactly at 11:30, and I will go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's go straight back to to some of those headlines, as you said. And we'd like to appreciate those of you that have joined us so far on the Thursday edition of the morning show. Subsidy hit 1.35 trillion in 4 months. NNPC to deduct 672 billion naira is coming from the headline. Senate prohibit ransom payment. Adoptees family seek talks with the bandit. This again is a question where who goes after the terrorists, or if somebody is kidnapped. I picked up a news that was sent to me this morning, and I might be able to share, just the face of these young, Nigerian, a copper, but we can now say, may her soul rest in peace. This actually happened at the federal capital in Abuja. As at the 14th of April, that's a picture right there. She was a missing person, but I can now tell us that she's been found, but found dead. But this is what comes up, to the message that came with it. Stephanie, a fellow graduate of Makodian, who graduated from microbiology and is undergoing an NYSC, which is the Nigerian Youth, Copper in the FCT, got missing earlier this month. We have been posting our pictures everywhere on the media, pleading for information for her whereabouts. Today, her body was discovered. She was murdered with her NYSC uniform on her. Her private parts are all removed as display here, which we cannot show because they're too graphic. This is completely uncalled for. Nigeria has failed us. Today is her. Tomorrow it might be you or me. Nobody is safe in this country. May God help us all. R.I.P. fellow. Me, Abuja, and Nigeria as a country hot now. Who and where you visit, very important. My schoolmate is gone for no reason. Richard Eni, no more now. That is the message that was coming, and we continue to tell people to become very, very vigilant because the country is going through quite a lot as we speak right now. Let's come back again to some of the other headline as we have it as well. The headline we have here, a Nigerian businessman that was jailed for fraud in the US has now picked up his own nomination form and want to contest under the PDP. Well, also, the the current governor of Ogun State, is also someone of interest when it comes to a fraud case on him in 1986, while he was also living in United States of America. This is what he comes up with the headline, that came up yesterday on him as well. I was arrested for fraud in the United States of America, but APC cannot disqualify me in 2023. These are meant to be leaders. These are meant to be those, that is leading currently because it's the current governor. But also, the question is, who are those legal team that continue to defend them, even though, according to the Constitution, says after 10 years of a crime, you can still come back. Mr. Abiodun, with a jail number 8600B9436, had filed an application for redemption of his criminal record in Miami-Dade, Florida, according to this headline. What we do know, embattled Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State says his arrest in United States over credit card fraud and forgery in 1986 is not a sufficient ground for his disqualification by the All Progressive Congress. I guess he's probably going to want to contest for the second term. Mr. Abiodun said APC as a political party lacked the power to disqualify him, stressing that only a counterpart court of law could do so at the statute of limitation for such matter not passed. As an aspirant or candidate will only be disqualified by court if the false information it gives related to constitutional requirement of legibility. APC is not a court of law. Accordingly, it cannot disqualify our client, the governor's lawyer wrote Abdullahi Adamu, APC chairman, citing section 29(6) of the Electoral Act 2022, but representing by Afe Babalola and co. Remember, the same Afe Babalola, is one person that was also talking about the 1999 Constitution and the country must go into what we call an interim government. He's currently representing Dapo Abiodun. The governor legal team further argued that the governor probable arrest was not conviction and hence was not answerable to the law that applied to criminals. Starr Radio UK. Even if he was convicted in 1986, the Governor Legal Counsel asserted the Nigerian Constitution only disqualified ex-felon from contesting political office if their sentence was less than 10 years before the election. Also, according to Mr. Latuja officer, based on what we said earlier during the Nigerian security says, to be honest, Nigerian security intelligence is not up to the scratch. Government should embark on reform and training of personnel. A very good morning to Mr. Adeosun, also watching us from Abeokuta, and we continue to say to those that are now making their way from Ado-Ekiti, where the 1999 Constitution has started with the court case from Ilanomo-Odua. We'll be telling you more on that later on. I'll come back to you now in the studio.
Yes, listen, it's Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria. And to all of you who have joined us, those from Nigeria, those of you listening to us on the African continent, especially, I know it costs you an arm and a leg to listen to us or watch us, and we greatly appreciate that. But Yomi, a quick one on the I call them ex-cons. I don't want to call them ex-cons, but if somebody is arrested, but was not charged or was not, found guilty, okay, in a court, I don't think that they should be held responsible, or because of that they should be written off. They should be given a chance to virtually do whatever, unless of course, like the fraud, they were sentenced, they were found guilty and sentenced. Then if you've been involved in something like that, I'm not sure that when you come to have the public purse, you'll be doing injustice to it. What do you think?
Well, you're quite right, and and just as even the Constitution says there that I just said, under the Constitution 29, citing the section 29(6) of the Electoral Act 2022, that the person can still contest as long as the crime has been done over the last 10 years. But the argument is, these was put together. Even in the event assumed, but considering that our client was even convicted in 1986, according to the legal team, it will still not be affected or caught up by Section 1821E of the CFRN, because the CFRN requires that the conviction which should be disqualified person from position of governor must have occurred 10 years before. But what we do know is this was in response to a petition that was submitted by some APC member, Ayodele Oludiran, on behalf of Oluwatobi Shofela of Oludiran of Oluwatobi Shofela of Ogun Bibire Unit Forum, who warned that the party might lose the governorship seat in Ogun State if Dr. Abiodun, with his criminal history, is consigned from the INEC. But we do also know that one of his, what we could say, aide that was working with him at some point is currently being picked up for a fraud case. I'm talking about the same governor. He was, frauding some almost to the tune of $650 million. Is currently now being held in America, but is now being taken off from his position in Ogun State.
Wow. Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. A bit of clarity there for you. Okay, let's go back to Yomi for some of the other stories. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, I'm just going to go straight into, the social media because of the time constraint again this morning. But once again, it is the Thursday edition as we continue to look into all the news and the headlines coming out of Nigeria. Also, Mrs. Comfort says, Baba Afe Babalola is far from the truth. I wonder how these elderly people think or speak. Also, Olatunja officer says, what do you expect of Nigeria? Breakdown in law and order and the three arms of government, executive, judiciary, legislature is not functioning very well. Mrs. Comfort also said DSS are terrorists or non-government attacking people in the middle of the night in their homes, now alerting people about attack. Nigeria is a scam. Sikiru is saying all the way Yoruba nation. Let's go back to some of those headlines as we have it presently. Yesterday, two of our Yoruba self-determination that were making their way to Ado-Ekiti, as we speak right now, are still currently being held in one of the police stations, the local police station inside, Abule Egba. It's still a very sketchy one, but all this happened at about 5 p.m. yesterday, but we will be giving more update on that probably maybe tomorrow. But what we do know is they were traveling to Ado-Ekiti while there was as usual the police harassing someone. They intervened into that situation and they drove on with them in continuation. But to their surprise, the officer on the bike ran after them, and what we can now say is while they were stopped during the traffic, there was some kind of what we can call a damage to their vehicle that they were driving to Ado-Ekiti. Both front and the back windscreen were broken. People wanted to attack the police officer. They stopped them and they allowed that officer to be taken to the police station. But they've now changed the story at this what we can call some kind of a situation that has already happened in the past and is still happening. But as we speak right yesterday, they had to sleep in the canter, but we're still monitoring the situation. But we'll be giving more headline and update on that maybe tomorrow when we have it. So I'm going to go straight, like I said, to the social media and quickly look at some of the headlines. Kanuta Kano at Mazi Kano, the UK should be guided Nigeria on how to hold hashtag referendum on hashtag Biafra independent, because any decision concerning Biafra and self-determination does not rest with Buhari and the government. It is a matter for the Biafran people alone. Silent on Kano's case can't stop Nnamdi Kanu what have started. Again, we go back into some of the other headline as well. Naferati, Peter Obi was the youngest chairman of the Fidelity Bank. He got his mandate back from Ngige, becoming the best governor of his state, one of the best governors in Nigeria. He retired back to his private business, didn't fancy the Senate, and never lobbied for any federal government job. As we know, Peter Obi also wants to become, the president come 2023. I'm going to look at some of the other headlines as well. I am Uma Oji Ofonia. Unstoppable people. April 4th, atrocity in Biafra land is committed, according to him right there. So I'm going to take one more and then come back again to you in the studio. Nigeria is a forced marriage that can no longer endure. And with a Nigerian flag with shovels and all kind on side, all broken flag, but it looks like they're putting a needle and thread to see if they can thread it back together. As we do know, like I said, 288 days from today, are we going to see a lot happening, or are we going to see a new country that will start emerging as well? And just 52 minutes ago, Ilana UK, one of the chapter of Ilana Modua, the Nigerian constitution is null and void. Section 14.2 declares sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. but they were excluded from participating in drafting or rectifying the Constitution. It was the exclusive handwork of a military dictator. Lawsuit coming soon.
Well, listeners, it's all Starr Radio UK. Now, before we run up the update, now the constitutional case that was taking place was supposed to take place in Ekiti today. You did say earlier on that it's been adjourned. Can you give us a bit of detail on that, and then before we run up, sir?
Well, yes, the court case all happened very fast, inside Ado Ekiti, where it all occurred. Just some almost, we probably say about an hour to 2 hours, but quite a lot of people traveled from almost every part to be part of that particular, court case. And let's hear from one or two people that were interviewed, if we can get a soundtrack quickly before we go. This is what they have to say.
Something has to happen on the part of tourism. It's just a matter of time.
Well, I know the audio is a bit poor, but we might get it ready tomorrow properly. But what we can say is there is now a proceeding. The court case has been, like I said, adjourned. There was no representative from the federal government or INEC, but the court case has now been moved to the 11th of May next month.
But what was the reason for adjourning the case? Is it because the federal government or the INEC were not represented? That's why they adjourned it.
Well, it's not just that alone. We also believe that it is a motion that is about to kickstart. So the case itself hasn't started officially, but since even those that have been brought, the federal government and INEC not being there, would definitely not allow a court motion to kickstart. So that is probably the reason why they have to move it to the 11th of May. I'm sure maybe we might have maybe one of the legal team that might probably join us tomorrow. I'll try and see if I can get one person that can speak to us and give us a clarity of what happened should the federal government refuse not to turn up to the court, and what happened should they come to the court, and what will be the outcome. I know the legal team spoke, but because it's a long video and we haven't got that ready, for this morning section. But like I said, tomorrow we would have that in details, but for those that are listening to us from Nigeria, if you go on our timeline, you'll be able to watch that. Let's see, just about, maybe I can get that. 1 minute.
We might have maybe one of the legal team.
I don't know why you can hear it properly.
It's low, but we can. Yeah, go on.
Where there is that so the people did not gather, the people of Nigeria did not gather in any way to agree on any form of the constitution. And the constitution now goes ahead in its preamble to say we the people, as the constitutional law against itself. And if the court comes to the constitution that the constitution lies against itself, it means anything built on it cannot stand. That is why we are here. And the people that are behind this case are the Olayomi who are seeking self-determination. And it is their right to seek self-determination. But instead of going to the street, like the way it is being done in the southeast, the Olayomi who are self-determination group have decided to come before this court in a civilized manner to ask the court to determine whether under the 1999 constitution it is desirable for any election to be held anywhere in Yoruba land. And we want to start with the Osun and Ekiti election. That is why we are here. And the applicants are here. The applicants are here. The defendants, right? Yes, we serve them. That is the Attorney General of the Federation, and I know they are not here. But the court has granted another adjournment for 11th of May and gave us order that we should serve them hearing notice. So if they are now here on the 11th of May, we will proceed.
Well, you heard him there. The Attorney General of the Federation and the INEC were all served. They've been told to serve them again, and if they do not turn up, they will then proceed according to one of the legal team representing Olayomi.
Okay, listeners, so we'll be bringing you more on that. Like Olayomi said, we'll try to see whether we can get any of the representatives from the Olamo Odua group to see whether they can, throw a bit of clarity on the whole case and as to whether they have confidence in the judicial system there. Okay, now before we go, there was this story that you posted, and then I thought, no, we need to know, because if the government seat, the seat of government, or the party, the ruling party itself, cannot actually protect their own money, so that somebody is managed to rob them of 34 million naira at the headquarters.
Which is what, that's about $75 million.
$75 million. Okay, so 75 million or 7.5 million dollars. Okay,
75, not 7.5.
75 million dollars. Interesting. Now, so what has happened? Can you give us a bit of what has happened there, and then we can run our place?
Well, all this was happening at the headquarters of the APC. They're probably just as any other buildings, money do get missing and people do steal from buildings depending on what you're stealing. But from what we are told, according to the news that came out yesterday, APC $75 million got missing inside the headquarters of the APC, and that means a lot of people will be asking, what was the money for? Could it be part of the money that they've been putting together, for these election? Because most of them will be paying about $100 million, for their nomination form. But as we know, like I said, that starch of money got missing. We were told that the money probably dropped, and then somebody must have probably stepped on it, realized his money, and walk away with that particular money. And that is about it. This news filtered through just yesterday, and again, a lot of Nigerians will be asking questions, questions and questions. Just like you said, if they can't manage what is happening in their headquarters, they can't manage the economy, security, welfare, education, then should they be given another chance in 288 days, or should the country itself be reviewed according to Pa Adebanjo that says Buhari is the problem of Nigeria?
Well, is Buhari the problem of Nigeria? Should Nigeria have the 2023 elections? Should the constitution be reformed? Can it be? Looking at the Senate and the House of Representatives, where they have majority people from the northern part of the country who don't want to ascribe to that. What do you think? Well, continue to listen to us, because we'll be bringing you more on that front tomorrow once we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. But don't worry at all, though we finished with the updates from Nigeria. If you want to post your comments, feel free, do so. Or if you want to call in even to add your voice to it, I promise you I'm going to read that. Yomi, let me say thank you very much for another wonderful update.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you to those that are also listening to us in Manchester, Oba Ashoniolong, Mr. Kunle Shita, and the rest of that have joined us this morning from different parts of the globe, all the way to Thailand, Malaysia, Dubai, and most especially safe journey to those that are making their way back now from Ekiti State to their various states. And like I said, the two Yoruba individuals that were picked up yesterday, I'll be giving an update on that when we come again tomorrow morning at exactly 11 o'clock. On that note, stay tuned with Starr Radio UK, where Archie will take you through the rest of the segment of the program. From me here, I say good morning and bye for now.
Bye-bye, sir. Okay, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now let's enjoy this tune while we take a sip of some water. It says what? Which way, Nigeria? Enjoy. Nigeria.
Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know.
This is Starr Radio UK.
The best radio show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go? I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh sure, sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's 12 o'clock exactly. Let me announce the lines open and let's continue with the show. Now, if you want to call in and make your take on any of the issues that I did put across earlier on, some of the news that is making the headlines, or maybe you want to report some story to us wherever you are, feel free to do so. Once again, let me say thank you to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, who is with us. Now, you want to call us 0208133225 or 580208133257 or 58. Those of you in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can text or WhatsApp us as well. It is 07539661744 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is @Star Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then. Now let's move on to some of the stories that is making the rounds in other parts of the world. Now, interestingly, as I did say earlier on, now we have Kofi Bentel, who is the vice president of Imani Africa. Kofi Bentel has made a passionate plea to billionaire Elon Musk to buy Ghana. Now, interestingly, do you think it's a wise call? Is it something just saying that to infuriate the ruling government, or there's something to ruffle their feathers? Let me put it that way. Do you think that's what he's doing, or in actual fact, do you think that would make sense? Maybe we get Trump buying some of the regions, we get Elon Musk buying some, we can even go and see Bill Gates to also buy some, and then at least they run it like a business, and then we can be making some money. What about that? Well, that's what he is thinking. He said he asked Musk to buy one of their country 16 regions, even if he will not buy the whole country. In their quote, he said, "Dear Elon Musk, please buy Ghana. You're worth more than our total GDP, and we have lots of lithium. Okay, you won't buy us, just buy one region. We have 16 of them. Please call Kofi Bentel, posted on his Facebook wall. Now, Elon Musk is set to take over as the new owner of the social media platform Twitter after its board accepted his bid of $44 billion. The amount is just $1 billion short of Ghana's current national debt. So maybe he pays the whole thing, he can pay it, and then he takes over. What do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some other stories as well. Now, when it comes to the presidential aspirants, when it comes to Ghana as well, well, there have been some pairings that seem to be going on. Well, Alan Bawumia ticket is rubbish. Childish symbolism, Kwesi Pratt is saying. And then some other stories: fire all striking workers, replace them with military. Professor Ajay on neutrality. Now, at times we have some of these astound men who are of community, and then of the community who make some statements, and at times you ask yourself, did you think it through before making that statement? Well, he's of the view that, well, Professor Ajay strongly opposes neutrality allowance, now calls for mass sacking of striking civil servants. Now, former Gimpa rector described allowance as a form of bribery. Now, Professor Stephen Ajay has preferred a drastic solution to an ongoing strike by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana. According to the former rector of Gimpa, the government should fire all striking workers and replace them with the military as a stopgap measures as it recruits their replacement. Now, Clog Zach laid down their toes over the now controversial neutrality allowance. The association started a strike a week ago on April the 21, 2022, over the government's inability to pay the allowance agreed on in January. Now, Professor Ajay described the neutrality allowance as a type of bribe that the government had agreed to pay to workers despite the economic headwinds the country was facing. They are taking the ordinary Ghanaian for granted. What about the unemployed? Are they more in need or less in need than the public servant? Now, my question is, if you look at the ministers or the ones with the higher pegs in those bodies or those organizations and the allowances that they are taking, and if those in the lower ranks look at it and think that, well, why not? We should also protest for that. We should also ask for that. What is wrong with that? So, do you agree with Professor Ajay, or do you think that he's going a bit bonkers, getting the military to take over that, sacking every one of them? I think the best person to be sacked will be the whole government of the MPP. What do you think? Because of underperformance, and they not underperforming and still getting all the allowances and everything that comes with it. What do you think about that? I want to have your take. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, what about the parents? Do you think maybe that will solve the MPP's problem? Alan Bawumia. So who will be the president and who will be the vice? Is Bawumia going to continue to be the vice, or Alan going to be the vice this around? Because Bawumia has been there, and maybe we want to know what you think. Some Ghanaian judges took bribes to lose records of cases, U.S. State Department have said. Now, this is a blow in the guts. Now, the neutrality of the country's judiciary has been brought into question as the United States Department of State reveals that some judges were subjected to unlawful influence and corruption while adjudicating a case. Now, according to the 2021 country's report on human rights practices, judicial officials reportedly accepted bribes to expedite or postpone cases, lose records, or issue favorable rulings for the payer of the bribe. Now, the report noted that although the 1992 Constitution requires every judge to be impartial when hearing a case, some judges allowed themselves to be compromised. It noted that a judicial complaints unit within the Ministry of Justice, headed by a retired Supreme Court justice, addressed complaints from the public such as unfair treatment by a court or a judge, unlawful arrest or detention, missing trial dockets, delayed trials, and rendering of judgments, and bribery of judges. The government, however, generally respected court orders, the U.S. State Department added. Generally, but there are some cases where I know the government decided not to adhere to the ruling of the court. Now, this revelation is the latest among bribery scandals that has rocked Ghana's judiciary. In 2015, an expose by investigative journalist Anas Arameyao Anas uncovered the riots taking place in the judiciary. Now, 22 circuit court judges, a magistrate, and 12 high court judges were implicated in the published audio and video clips. And subsequently, the affected persons were suspended for an investigation to commence in their behavior. Now, this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now, do you think that this is an indictment on government or the judiciary as a whole in Ghana? What do you think? Now, for the U.S. State Department to say that, actually telling their investors that when you're going to invest in that country, be careful because a case can go against you, or unless you are ready to pay more when you have a case to bribe your way through it. What do you think? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now, let's move on quickly to some other stories, and then we will. Now, e-levy, nothing stops government from going ahead May 1. That's what lawyer is saying. Now, why or who is this lawyer? Information coming through says that a private legal practitioner, Nanakwesi Boite, says until Supreme Court makes a pronouncement on the electronic transfer, government should go ahead and implement it on May 1. Now, speaking yesterday, Mr. Boite indicated that nothing stops the executive from implementing a law that has been passed and assented by the president. Until an order has been made, there is no injunction restraining you. You can go ahead and do whatever until the court makes a specific order. Now, my position is in respect of the enforcement of the law. My apologies. I do not believe that the court will take the view that if somebody is asking that a person be restrained from observing the law and that the person goes ahead and observes the law regardless, it is in contempt of the court, because there is a law passed by status, and once status creates something to be done, everybody is supposed to observe it, and the executive really has no discretion. The contention that the Constitution has been violated is invalid until the Supreme Court pronounces so. In the meantime, as we sit here in Parliament, Parliament has passed a law, and the President has assented to the law. The arm of government that has the duty to implement the law has no discretion whether or not they will implement it, Mr. Boite said. Now, interestingly, my question here is once again, now should they start this implementing the e-levy, and then they go to the Supreme Court rules that they think that some anomalies or unlawful things took place for that to pass? Do you think that government will do a U-turn, especially now that we know that they are that desperate? Let me hear from you. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 11 minutes past the top of the hour. Starr, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In other parts of Africa as well, the Burkina Faso and Guinea, where the military has seized power by force, have asked their West African neighbors for more time to come up with a timetable for their transition. Now, this comes after the expiration of Monday, the 25th of April ultimatum. The Economic Community of West Africa states, ECOWAS said on Wednesday. The Burkina Faso wished to have more time than the 25th April deadline set by West Africa heads of state a month earlier in order to continue consultation on various issues an ECOWAS statement said. For its part, Guinea presented the recent development in the transition process and also wished to have more time in relation to the 25th of April deadline in order to allow for further consultation, the organization said. Now, ECOWAS announced that it will send missions to the two countries before the forthcoming summit of heads of state at unspecified dates. The authorities of both countries have made it clear that they do not intend to submit the ECOWAS demands at the risk of being subjected to new sanctions. On Monday, Burkina Faso, through government spokesman Lionel Bilgo, said it did not intend to shorten the 3-year transition period before civilians return to power. We are not going to sacrifice our efforts to bring peace to Burkina Faso by running behind an intangible timetable that does not take into account the realities on the ground, he said. So do you think that the ECOWAS leaders or group or body should accept what they've said there? Because why did they come up with that coup or organize that coup? Just because there were some anomalies that were going on. I don't know that people would say, oh no, we need to use the constitutional or democratic way to resolve issues. But when you see that every way or every path that you can use democratically is being impeded, then of course the only way is doing something of the sort, having a coup d'etat, forcing people out of government. Now, they are saying that, look, why they overthrew government in Burkina Faso, in Guinea, in Mali, they think that those issues need to be addressed. So until then, so you have to. So why is ECOWAS not, having or brainstorming with them to say that, look, these are the reasons why we took power, and we think that this and this and this can be done over this and this and this period, and then we can look at the way forward. 3 years, they think that 3 years is too much a time or a period for them to wait. What about that? Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on straight to some other stories that is making the rounds. In one more from the African front before we go to other parts of the world. Nigeria Senate wants ransom payers to go to jail. Now, interestingly, we missed this story whilst Mr. Olayomi was on. It just came in, but it says that Nigeria Senate wants ransom payers to go to jail. Now, senators passed a bill imposing 15-year prison term for those paying to free hostages. Now, when people have seen videos or the videos of captured family members, and they are saying you have to pay this, and government is not doing anything to actually, up to now, the Chibok girls, there are some that are still there that have not been released. So if the family think that with what has gone on in the past, we have to pay so that we can get our loved ones back and look at the way forward, and they pay it, you say you're going to put them in jail? What are you doing to protect them in the first place? Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay. Now, interesting story making the rounds here. I don't know how true that is though, because we need to get some more facts. Now, Ghana's opposition convention People's Party has announced plans to rebury the country's founding leader, Kwame Nkrumah, in November. The independence-era ruling party says Mr. Nkrumah wasn't given a fitting burial by the state following his death in April 1972, and his soul was still restless. Really? Okay, Mr. Nkrumah died 50 years ago while being treated in Bucharest, in Romania, and was buried in his Nkrofo village in southern Ghana. His remains were later transferred to a mausoleum in the capital, Accra. The CPP party said it will soon unveil a timetable of activities that will culminate into Mr. Nkrumah's actual funeral. It did not offer details whether it plans to exhume and rebury Mr. Nkrumah's remains at another site. Now, local outlets published a video of the remarks by the party's General Secretary Nana Yao Jantwa on the proposed burial? Is it because they are of no essence and therefore they think that maybe if we say, okay, we're going to exhume his body, we're going to have a funeral or something of that sort, it will draw the attention of maybe the Nkrumahs or those who sympathize with that party or that form of governance to say, yes, it's about time that the people give us opportunity. What do you think about all that? This all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, 17 minutes past the top of the hour. Pretty soon I'll be joined by Mr. Frank Davis, who is aligning himself, making sure that everything is taken nicely before he comes on. But whilst he continues to do that, let's look at some of the other stories making the rounds. Now, parents' joy at Russia's release of U.S. Marine son held in a Russian prison since 2019. Trevor Reed has landed back in the U.S. And Minneapolis engaged in pattern of racism. Now, officers use force stop and arrest minorities more often than white residents, an inquiry has said. And that is quite interesting because we know that here as well we have the problem where blacks are stopped more than our white counterparts or Caucasians, and that's one of the stories making the rounds there. But this all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a quick break. We come back, I'll be bringing you Mr. Frank Davis as well. But feel free, as I said earlier on, the lines are open. If you want to join in the conversation, feel free to do so. Stay true, don't go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well, lamb shapers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:23. With me in the studio, we've got Mr. Frank Davids. Let me say good afternoon to you.
Archie, good afternoon to our readers, our viewers, our contributors, and those watching us.
How have you been?
Archie, I've been very, very okay, so to say.
Good. Thank God for that.
Someone just got me angry a few minutes ago. I'm racist person, but he's been dealt with. Been dealt with.
Okay.
So that's
that's good.
We've made official complaint.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Interesting. Now, do you think Elon Musk should buy Ghana? Kofi Bento thinks that his money that even it's just 1 billion short of Ghana's GDP. I think that buy the whole country or maybe buy one of the regions.
He will not be the first to have mooted this idea of trying to buy a country. A few years past, Google mooted the idea of buying the Trinidad and Tobago, one of those Caribbean lands. Actually, you see, buying a country is not just GDP does not define who we are. The assets of that country is not what is quantified as GDP.
Okay.
The human beings in that country are worth more than any amount.
Okay.
The gifts in our kids.
Yeah.
The potentials in that country. If our leaders have not been able to have not been able to tap the full potential of that country, does not mean that we should equate our GDP to who we are. GDP can be what they call a gross domestic product at this very time. But how many of those governments have actually looked at the potential and quantified the potential for all school children, the potential for all diasporans, and how many of the leaders have been able to call on all these diasporans to say, okay, look, we know you have potential, contribute to our country, come and take a position, do this for us. Because we've allowed us to mismanage, decide what they want to, doesn't mean that we should chip in ourselves. I would not even $1 trillion will I even support. What are they going to give the money? Who are they paying the money to?
They declare debt,
and who manages the country? So you become you now become a product. You become an XY in what the metrics of stock exchange. No, that's not who we are. That is slavery. Because if you buying the landmarks, will the government consult even if it is 1 kilometer that my village has, wouldn't sell it for $1,000 because there could be someone from that village that could in future be more than Elon Musk. So I'm not going to agree to that. Never. Okay. The day they sell it, that the day the guns will begin to blaze.
Okay, let's move on to another interesting story. Professor AJ. Now, Professor AJ is talking about the fact that what do you call them? Civil and local government staff association that's who are on strike should be sacked. All of them should be sacked, and we'll bring the military in to take over in the interim and until they recruit people because they are asking for allowances.
Okay.
And I'm saying that look, they are bosses. The local government. I mean, they see the allowances that these people are taking, the regional ministers and everybody and all the ministers. And if they are calling for that, why do you say that they should now be sacked? Because they are calling for the same thing that you are, I mean, virtually not the same rate, but what you are enjoying. They think that they also need to enjoy some.
Archie, the whole issue is very, very tricky and difficult. This is the way I look at it. The government sign contracts with some of these people. If the answer is yes, okay, what sort of agreement did they sign with these people? Are these people just shouting at as if they are mad? The answers to this are no. Government sign a contract with them. So if you sign contract and you are not fulfilling your part of the contractual obligation, then the people, I mean, have the right to demonstrate. If you've not been able to satisfy their need, that does not mean that you should go. Okay, when government overborrowed, when government was forced and realized that the debt burden was becoming too much and therefore they have to find a way of raising more revenue and they were passing it. Why didn't they suggest that we should sack the government?
No, that one you can't.
Yeah, why didn't they? Because the government promised us they were going to reduce our burden. They were not going to increase tax. They were going to raise revenue through production. And here we are, the government came making noise that they can't even finance the budget.
Yeah.
They told us that look, the e-levy was going to be like Akubam.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
But that's not what they told us. Why didn't they call for the sacking of that? Look, these people, whether they are teachers, whether they are civil servants, are all part of the system. They know exactly what is going on. Right?
Yeah.
And I do think that if we engage them, they'll be able to answer. But you see, Archie, they're not going to sit down where they can see that political thievery, political mismanagement is ongoing. And government is in support of it. If you have civil service, public servant, teachers, I mean, what do you call it, nurses, doctors, seeing that, look, 1 year alone, we're losing 12.5 billion to political corruption, and they're demanding that probably a 300 more a month to help their living conditions and other. And you are saying no, then they're going to be angry because they read those reports. Some of them even help compile those reports. And some of them are even in those offices and see the carnage that is being done to our finances by the political elites. Are you get? So the issue of coming to buy Ghana is out. The issue about sacking this people, for me, is one of the most negative recommendations that could ever come from someone who's already enjoying. Yeah. You know, I don't agree.
What does it do? Okay, he was a former GIMPA rector. But I don't know at the moment what
he's not the director. I mean, I think the board chairman or the director of Ghana Revenue Authority.
Him.
Yeah, him. One of the Nyansan force.
Okay, finally, before we leave Ghana, the neutrality of the country's judiciary has been brought into question as the United States Department of State has revealed that some judges were subjected to unlawful influence and corruption while adjudicating cases. We did talk about this. I think Monday or Tuesday we did touch on that case and saying that the fact that they are behaving that way actually puts impediment in our way when we talk about outside investment. Because when anybody is going to invest there, they think that what will happen. Now, do you think that this has actually dented the image of the country? Because apart from government will come and go, but judiciary is one that stays always. It's supposed to be there constantly. I mean, until maybe there's a coup d'etat when people try to throw it off. But you have them there because they are virtually let me say the sensible people in community. But this is what we see.
Actually, in my view, I do not think this is new. I think the only reason probably we're talking about it today, or probably people are making noise about it, because they think a foreign country like the UK has added its voice to what most of us already know. We've had a cause to complain bitterly about how the judiciary have been behaving. Some of the judgments that they've come out with, that you think about it and you cannot understand how they arrive at those conclusions. So, and we know a documentary has already been done, an investigative piece by Anas, which found that judges take corruption. So the issue about taking corruption is not taking bribe is not something. But see, you expect that when a new chief justice comes in, the issue of we should be able to be told that concrete actions are being taken. But here's the case that the chief justice himself has been accused of taking what they call $5 million bribe, and up to now, nothing has come out. Now, if you look at the case of where a docket have been, how many times have prosecutors not been to the what do you call it? I hear some people making a lot of unfounded noise. How many times have prosecutors not been to the court and told that the dockets are missing?
Yeah.
The case that is being tried involving Gregoria Foko, were told some of the dockets were missing. The case that that involved JP Dankwa Meda, we are told that even the autopsy report is missing. Right? So there are several instances where we've been told that dockets are missing. Now, you're talking of people who pay bribe. Their cases are being called. The chief justice himself didn't he say that senior lawyers should be called first?
Yeah.
What does that amount to? What do they do?
Yeah.
Because
what influence do they have on
how
the
influence do they have on them?
Yeah.
Have we also not witnessed situation where the law students are trained, or the future lawyers are trained, that events that border on criminality in terms of how people are admitted took place over there?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Why are we blaming the US? US is just re-echoing what we already know and compiling it and adding a stamp to it that we have seen this evidence. We agree with the noises that people are making. When we talk of torture or the arrest, the law says that you arrest someone 48 hours, you're gonna release the person. When
charge them or release them.
How many people have been arrested and kept over 48 hours? So if they are echoing it, it's only that because US has a bigger megaphone.
So they are making lots of noise. Yeah.
And then it gives the media in Ghana opportunity to talk about it, because now they've been afraid of Idi Amin, or King Ahab, Akufo-Addo, because when you talk about it, they will come after you, right?
Yeah.
But now they can discuss in the context, within the context of the U.S. human, the State Department human report, human report. They say that's what that's why they're talking about it. Because if they if they say, okay, this happened to Baker, he was detained.
Yeah.
Over a certain number of days, he was detained because what the police did was illegal.
Yeah.
Right. If they if they go on discussing such, they'll be picked up. When Bubiansha was invited by the police, right? He called the police officer. He was at a funeral. Told them he was going to win. They came to arrest him like in a Rambo style, kidnapped him in front of his in their office, right? Not that he was absconding.
He said, "I'm coming."
He was, but they came. People in plainclothes beat him up, molested him. How about that? When they Captain Smart was arrested, even when bail was granted, what did they do? They still kept him over 48 hours. As we speak, Chief Justice should tell us why Gregory Afoko is still in custody.
Yeah.
This is a man, a court of competent jurisdiction granted bail.
Yeah.
Bail conditions were fulfilled, but this is a man that has been sent to more than condemned cell. So what are we talking about?
Because they want to flex their muscles when it comes to Afoko.
Are you getting me? Are you getting me? So at the end of the day, when it came to Kennedy Japan, when he insulted, what happened to that court case? It was made foolish.
Yeah.
Why? Because he paid money.
Yeah.
Unless you come and explain to us that if case A, case B appear before judges, how can one case is dealt with and then one is pushed? We cannot even trace. I mean, what would have influenced? What was the decision point? You look at even the political issues that are going, the one between Kwesin in one case and the one at Techima.
Yeah.
Now, injunction, applications for injunction were brought in those both instances. One was granted.
Yeah.
One was not granted. Then you ask yourself, the same judicial system. Actually, it doesn't add up. I cannot take a situation where we add water to salt. In one instance it becomes salty water, and then salt and water. In another instance, the product that comes out becomes sugary water. Something might have taken place. They might have swapped the salt for sugar.
Well,
and those are the explanations they need to tell, not to be attacking the US. I don't see as they need to attack the US, because everything that report detailed is something that is common knowledge. We've spoken about it on this platform. A lot of people have spoken about it. So what at all are they going after? Is it because that report will now be taken? I mean, universally, people will look at it and then refer to Ghana. Investors will look at it. When you're doing those, dubious things within your country, don't you think people are watching? Have you listened to the audio tape, the podcast that was done by BBC?
No, I've not.
I'll send you a copy to listen to it.
Okay.
Having to do with human rights abuse, attack on freedom of speech.
And it's obvious. We know about it, but it would be nice to listen to their perspective about that. But now let's move on straight to the issue about Burkina Faso and Guinea. They say now we take a typical case of what we are talking about: the judiciary not doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, and maybe government not doing what they're supposed to do. You take a typical case of Nigeria, where somebody is saying that now if somebody they should now jail people who pay ransom. Now. So they pay the ransom because they know the government is not coming to help them out. And then maybe somebody sits down looking at all the democratical ways to deal with this, constitutional ways, and think that there's no way out. So if my people are crying, I need to rise up and do what we have to do. And then we have coup d'etats. Now they have that in Burkina Faso and Guinea, and they are saying, ECOWAS is saying that, well, you know what, because you're not giving us a timetable, so the sanctions, whatever sanctions, and the guys are saying, wait. We have in the case of Guinea saying that we came in for a purpose. We're not going to be forced to do it. And so we are looking about 3 years when we are sure that whatever reason why we came in has been addressed. Now, do you think anything is wrong with that?
Actually, ECOWAS has for me, ECOWAS attempt to basically impose itself is on these sovereign countries. For me, it doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, ECOWAS has not been helping some of these countries. In the first place, events that led to some of these coups are well known. ECOWAS did not get in to intervene. That's why I keep on echoing that what is happening in Nigeria today, if ECOWAS has anything to do, this is the time they're gonna look at how they can intervene, how they can help the Nigerian military to basically defeat the the insurgents over there, and the Boko Haram and other things. If that is not done, and one day a military officer or some group of military officers step up and say, okay, look, security wise, and Buhari himself lately has acknowledged that the country is actually being overwhelmed with insecurity. If a few guys then stand up and say, hey, you know what, we're taking over the government because of insecurity, I do not see how ECOWAS will be justified to come and tell us that return the country to democracy. And that, what is democracy when my people are being killed? What is democracy when on a daily basis people are being slaughtered? What was happening in Guinea-Conakry? Why didn't they get involved? Why were they waiting for? I am not saying we should go to areas of military, but at certain points in time, if nothing is being done and the military stepping in, I don't have any problem. And again, they are not saying they're going to be there forever.
No.
They are saying they put the country in place. For instance, if democratic governments are not, in Mali case, are not able to deal with the insurgents the way they should, there's Al-Shabaab and other people over there, and the military are taking them on. They say, okay, look, we came in because of insecurity. Your kid was killed by some of this. And we say, okay, look, we're going to keep the country under military. We're going to marshal our military forces to make sure that we defeat these people before we return the country to civilian. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? At the end of the day, Akufo-Addo just want to flex his mouth out there but actually, I like the stance the Malians, I like the stance the Guinea people have taken against ECOWAS. I'm not undermining ECOWAS at all. I'm saying, look, shoulder your responsibilities. If you shoulder your responsibilities, then you can talk when it comes to issues such as it. You take the EU for instance. I do believe that when Italy is going down, they step up trying to help. European Central Bank will cover money trying to help. They basically help each other. Therefore, when something is happening in Italy, they will begin to raise their voices, and justifiably so. Right?
Yeah.
You do not tie your arms. Carnage is going on in different countries. People are suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, democracy, what is it? What is the essence of democracy? What is the benefit democracy when people or if people continue to suffer? I'm not saying it's the countries without democracy, they have what do you call it? The country with democracy or without democracy, they have a better life. But I'm saying, what is the sense of democracy if people are being killed on a daily basis? What is it?
What's the sense?
I prefer military regime in Nigeria.
And the people have their peace of mind to go about their duties.
We do not have the daily killings that we see today. That a democracy when people are being slaughtered daily basis, hourly basis like animals.
Well, if you are listening to us this morning or this afternoon, what do you think about that? We've got about 17 minutes more to go. You can hop in and make your thoughts known, or you can post your comments on our Facebook page, and I promise you I'm gonna read that for you. Okay, now let's move on to other parts of the world. Well, are we going to see the Third World War now? Has it become inevitable? Have we got to a point of no return? Well, Putin warns against outside intervention in Ukraine. Some of the experts or military experts have been saying that, look, in wars that have gone on, you talk about the Saudi with what do we call them? What do we call this country? Eden. Where their capital is Eden. I've forgotten that. Now, whilst they are fighting, they are using British ammunitions. There. So, do you say that it's the British who are fighting you? No, they've acquired that, or whether it's a gift to them and they are using it. So, in the same vein, people are looking at it that if Russia is fighting Ukraine, and then Western world, let's say, have sold arms to Ukraine to also use to defend themselves, and they use it to maybe target Russia, some infrastructure and stuff like that. Why do you say that if they are doing that now, you're going to escalate the war to their territories?
Archie, what we do know is that war is not only about triggering a gun. They pulling the trigger and firing a bullet out of your canister or missile is not the only act of active involvement in war. Logistics supply is very crucial. What we see is that the West has actively been supplying logistics to fuel or to enable or to embolden what they call the Ukrainians. So technically they are actively in the war. Now the question then the question we might ask, if anybody helps you, does that become you ask for help and they are helping you? What sin have they committed? Actually, someone say no, they've done nothing wrong. But if that help is to enable like the war, then I'm saying they're actively involved. We also know the British have been arrested. We know the Americans have been arrested as being active boots on the ground. Who sent them? We don't know. How they got there? We do not know. Some of these sophisticated weapons, who is training them? Who is training people to use them? Are you getting me? Actually, when are we going to get a Third World War or not? I think the next 14 days is going to be very crucial. The next 14 days is going to be very, very, very crucial. There's an I don't know, but now that the British has positioned themselves to supply Ukraine with arms that will result in the attack on Russia, then expect anything to happen.
Because Vladimir Putin is saying that, well, the UK is in its reach. And anybody here, they can also do whatever. So it's quite worrying.
Well, I mean, it's because it's getting closer to our home.
Where will we go? Ukrainians are coming here now. We'll go to.
I'll say to people, whoever you live, please get closer to the next. Find out. I mean, actually, come
the underground station.
Find out where is the nearest bomb bunker in our area. If you can find her, it will be very, very good. Just to when it comes to you know where to run to.
The other time I was there, my wife was like, I said, the nearest underground thing is Tooting. So we have to drive. He said, but there'll be traffic.
So I mean, everybody, if you listen to us in London, it's something that you should do. Know where the nearest bomb bunker is close to you. I mean, that one is something that you should have at your fingertips. Do a few trips to that area to find out what will happen. Find out the train lines close to your area, where the train lines moves. Because if there's going to be an attack probably in London, you don't want to jump on the train that is heading to King's Cross. So you need to know those platforms. If you get to East Credit, you jump on a train that's taking to Victoria.
You are dead.
You should be taking a train that's taking you out of the center of events. So this is some of the local knowledge that we need to have ourselves with.
Okay, let's see. I think we got a caller. Let me see. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Marisol, and I'm calling from Virgin Media Business. May I speak with your accounts payable? Or
sorry. We are online. We are on air at the moment, so we'll call you back. Yeah.
Can someone hear me?
Okay. Okay. Let me pick Mr. Kofi Ali, who has also joined us. Kofi, good afternoon to you.
Oh, afternoon. How are you guys?
Yeah, doing very well. And you?
Yeah, I'm very, very fine too. In fact, I've been following your Ukraine-Russian discussion and how there is a threat of the world war and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I'm taking a different look on the whole thing because to some of us, it's like Arsenal and Man U are playing football. It's not necessary really to support anyone.
Okay.
For you to be a good commentator. That is for me, the way I'm looking at it. Can you see? Oh, unfortunately, lives have been lost. Poor people's life, unfortunately. But this is the casualty. That's the cause of war. And war is part of humanity. It's part of human life. Even animals fight topless of human beings. So that's not the issue here. But what I'm looking at here is how this war is impacting on Ghanaians today. What are the feedback, the signals that are coming from the game being played far away that is affecting the day-to-day life of the Ghanaian? And what advantage do we have, or are we learning from this war? A day or two ago, President Putin, prior to that, has made an announcement that anyone who is not paying for his gas and oil in rupees, isn't it? Rubles.
Yeah.
They'll be disconnected.
Yeah.
So good. Then he is not saying anyone who is not paying, they are paying, but you must pay in rubles.
Yeah.
In rubles. If you pay in rubles, then fine. If you are not paying in rubles, you'll be punished. Can you see? Then you step back and ask yourself, earlier, in what currency were these people buying the petrol, the crude oil and the gas? They were buying it in euro, remember? So Putin sell to them in euro, and when Putin want to buy anything from them, he also need euro to buy it from them. That is what is happening. Is that not true?
Yeah.
Now, because of the sanction and the challenges that are coming in, he now want to re-establish himself. And he say, look, you can only get my oil and gas if you have my money. If you don't have my money, you are not getting it. So he is now saying that the economics has changed. He's not saying he's not selling, but the buyer and the seller of his product must buy and sell in his own currency. So he wants to control the currency market. Can you see?
Yeah.
Now he has even turned off the tap because the Polish are not. So he turned off the tap. He said, buy it in my currency or you don't. You go to West Africa, go to Ghana. When we buy things from America, we buy it in dollar. When we sell things to Americans, we sell it to them in dollar. I don't know whether you are aware.
Yeah, that's
so
what,
at any point in time, we are dependent on their dollar. When you buy something from Europe, Britain collect pound sterling. They sell to you in pound sterling. They buy from you in pound sterling. So they are pound sterling. When you go to European Union 37, they sell to you in Europe and they buy in Euro. When you send your car to Ghana, you go and check your import. They will tell you that if it's coming from European nation, right? Mm-hmm. You pay in Euro. If it's coming from Britain, you pay in pounds. I don't know whether you are aware. Your duty is calculated by that.
Yeah.
That can tell us a lot of things. So at any point in time, when we buy on other people's terms. When we sell, we are selling on other people's terms. Why must it be so? 27 countries, one common currency. You buy on their terms. In the past, when they had different currencies, they were collecting, their buying and selling was in dollar. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything you do in Europe must be in Europe. Is that not the reason why we have a case for ECOWAS common currency? If we have a common currency, we trade among ourselves. We do far more. Of course, we trade with others too. Nobody can live in isolation. Then, what we are going to do, maybe there will come a time our children will come one day and say, you know something, like the Russians are doing now. Russia is not one country, so many countries put together. We will be full again. Yes, you go and check. It's a federation actually, like American states. And they said they have a common currency like Europeans, so they can change the rule of the game anytime. Why are we not learning? They said those who never learn from their experience live to repeat the same mistakes over and over. Have we not suffered enough, my brothers? You have your MSc, have whatever, you end up being Uber driver in London. What is the use of the education? So, to me, this war, for me, is an eye-opener. An eye-opener. These Russians, you know what they're going to be doing now? Whatever ends this war. Now, you remember, in the past, those who go to other people's country to force them to do their own version of democracy by force, their own version of Taliban, are the Americans. Is that not true?
Mm-hmm.
They come, they say, our value, our way of life, and you must live by the way we live, our standard. And for that, in most cases, you have civil wars. They are behind. Sometimes they even go themselves and do the fight. Today, almost the whole continent of Africa, in fact, we have brought America into poverty of Africa. Yes, we are all Americans now. Survival of the fittest. Fine, but that's not the issue. The issue is a little bit beyond that. Shall there come a day when our children or our grandchildren will wake up to say that, you know something, they've seen something they want to address.
Mm-hmm.
But addressing that problem will depend on what their fathers have done before. Because fall on every generation, Mandela said, to take a critical step so that generations after them will not waste their time on the same thing. Why is it difficult for 15 countries of West Africa to spend a common currency?
Okay.
What is difficult about that?
Kofi, let me interject a little bit. I think when it comes to the issue of why are we not learning, I think let's acknowledge it that if you take West Africa, for instance, steps have been taken to try and get a common currency. For now, I know the ECOWAS passport is working, and what is what we do have a problem with now is the ECO, which was supposed to be the common currency. And basically, we also have to look at the influence of members within that ECOWAS region. And
in fact, Frank, you are saying something very important. I want to hear everything, but your microphone is low.
Okay. Don't worry. Yeah,
I can hear Archie very well.
Okay.
Can you hear him now?
We need to look at.
Let him speak.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. We need to look at the influence of individual countries within that region. So, for instance, if we take the Francophone countries, we need to look at the economic structure that they operate today. Now, it's going to take a lot of time to try and reverse some of those structures. For instance, if you take Togo, you take Cote d'Ivoire, you take Burkina Faso, most of their wealth is kept in France, right? Most of their wealth is kept in France, and their currency is linked to some extent to the French franc. Are you getting me? Not the EU. French themselves are no more using their currency.
They're not using their French franc, no.
But they still reserve it in terms of how they deal with their colonies to work with. The first thing we need to do is to be able to assist some of these countries to reverse the agreements that have outlived their usefulness amongst us today. If we can do that, then we're going to be able to move fast. If not, the English countries should take a lead in using the ECO.
That's the Commonwealth.
No, the English countries in ECOWAS.
Okay.
Should take a lead. The English-speaking countries should take a lead in using the ECO. So Niger will have to give out its naira. Ghana will have to give out its cedis. Liberia will have to give out its dollar, and then Senegal will need to give out. So if we can get that going, and then come together and help these countries to break away from what they call the thievery regime that the French put in place when they were living. Those countries. I think we can get it, but it is not that something is not being done. Something is being done.
But
well,
Kofi, so what do you think? A quick one on that, because our time is already almost gone.
I took my time to listen to carefully so that I can see the area where probably there seems to be problem to some people. To be honest with you, all the things you have said is actually not a problem. And for some of us who think the English-speaking countries are freer than the French-speaking countries, we are having an illusion. Illusion. A dog that has got a rope on his neck and a dog that is following his master. What is the difference? The dog that the master whistle and the dog ran and go there. And the other one, they are all dogs. They all respond to someone outside there who control them. The one that doesn't have rope on his neck directly, he said, I am free. They are all the same. So let the English-speaking countries and the analysts stop misleading themselves. The English ones, what is keeping all of us where we are is the debt we have with the IMF. That is one of the key problems. The issue regarding common CFA and money from France is not an issue. And for our information, the French-speaking countries are the first to say that they are ready for the ECO. They came out, go follow the information, that they are ready, 100%, whatever it will take, because they know that they are losing with their relationship with the French. It was the English-speaking countries that were foot dragging Buhari, mention his name. When they met in Niger, Buhari was the one saying we need to be careful, we need to withdraw, we need to slow down. He was the one dilly-dallying. So
because he thinks that they've got the biggest economy in the sub-region, and if care is not taken,
his economy. No. You see, let us stop finger pointing and let us understand that we are all in the same basket. Nobody is better than anyone. Today, the city in Ghana, if we don't go to IMF and go and beg them to give us another money to pump in dollars, our economy goes down.
But you have passed the e-levy.
What can e-levy do? Carry your money is money. Oh, my brother, let's talk about serious issues. Those people you see sitting there, they are only fooling themselves. Everybody knows. It's only buying time. Nobody has anything to do. We all know. The rate issues have not been dealt with. All over the world, you see new cars are coming in, new brands. Which one came from African continent or West Africa? None. They are all tired. Everybody knows the next step is how do we get there? That is the problem we all have. Everyone is tired. Now, let me go back to the issues. You see, we are all what? All of us. The difference is that some have got some more natural resources to sell. Nigeria has got a lot of oil. She can afford to fool around, while others have not. The countries in the desert will struggle more in planting food than the country by the coast and the rainforest. These are the differences we have, and we are not the only type of country who have that difference. EU had it. The early days of America, they didn't have it till now. The American states, some are more prosperous than others. It's the same in the EU. We don't have anything unique. The difference is that we seem to think our problem is more complicated than anyone's problem. No. We are all the same. The global problem, everywhere you go to, as I talk to you now, the oil they use in place of the one coming from Russia and the gas is from Nigeria. Yes, they've increased the daily output. And how much are the Nigerians getting for it? Nothing. Go to the Malian coup protest, the Guinea coup protest. They are getting nothing. Go and ask them. They are negotiating and they are not seeing the head or tail of it. Then what about the debt we have with the World Bank? Who's going to pay IMF? These are things we can negotiate together. When we negotiate together, we can even suspend, because when we suspend the payment, that is when our ECOWAS is stronger. And we suspend payment. We say, look, we have issues. We've taken debt. We are not saying we are not paying. Tell us the total debt you all own. Even Britain is a debtor nation anyway, so everyone is a debtor. Tell us. Then they'll give us a concise figure. When we see the figure, we then say, now, we need 20 years to pay back. What can they do? If one country say they need 20 years, they put sanction on it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. When 15 countries say we need 20 years, what would they do? I'm asking a question.
They'll put sanction on them.
Or they put sanction on all of us. And their sanction may be our own reason for start, because we don't trade properly with each other. Why? Because we don't have the industries internally built. So our trade are from outside.
Don't worry, we now have one district, one factory.
We have what?
One district, one factory.
Go and ask them. If they have one district, will they be doing levy from Kayayo? I don't know, last when you were in Ghana, you see this Kayayo, they are like rats. Infected. Mess. So let us be serious. It's a serious problem. I'm in London. I always get bread to eat. I get milk to buy. I lack nothing. But there are millions out there who daily go to the church and the mosque and praying to God. Ramadan has finished now. Ramadan of poverty. Christmas camp, you see children on the street, poverty. It's a serious issue. And no one will solve this for us. Jesus has come and Jesus is gone. Okay. Muhammad is gone. None of them is gone. Kwame Nkrumah is not coming back. It is up to us to find a solution to this problem. Our problem, like I said, nowhere. Everywhere they have complications. Around their complications, they come up with solutions. Okay. And that is what we have to learn to do.
Thank you.
Until we move to that level of mindset that, look, we are special indeed, but our problem is not unique.
Okay.
Honestly, we don't have any problem.
All right.
Yesterday, the problem there, the generation now has changed. We are not the generation of independence. We are a different generation. How many people in independence are left? Akufo-Addo. How many of them? Go and count them.
Thank you, Kofi.
Most of them who were born before independence, none of them is left. If you are left, you are useless. Because that person will be too old that he can't even see his left from right.
Okay.
So those of us who are new generations, we need to start a different way of looking at our destiny. When they make television in US, we need to be able to make our television. They make China, we make our own. We need to compete. We need to create jobs. We need to go to space. We need to have big dreams.
Okay.
Do it.
Big dreams.
I can see this possibility.
All right.
But it doesn't take. It's not one man's job. It's our job together. Thank you.
That is coming from our 20-year-old Kofi Ali, the new generation.
I have a dream. Kofi, that's Kofi's dream.
20 years. He has, if he's going to live to be 80, he has 60 years ahead of him.
That's a good one.
The lives of him we have hope in. 20 years.
Yes.
At least some of us are 10 years older than that. So ours is a bit shortened. What can we say?
Okay. Listeners, we are going to bring the program to a close, but thank you very much. But Frank, before we go.
Actually, before we go, let me quickly comment on this Nkrumah celebration issue. You see, for me, the CPP is telling us both through action, through deeds, and verbally that we should look at them as a failed, irrelevant, and a failed. Look, all of them. If Nkrumah, who has died over years ago, we're now going to think of reburying Nkrumah, a funeral rite for Nkrumah, to be able to make what he started relevant again. As in, you see, okay, if you have young men in a house, and you have a grandmother, you have a grandfather, and we have an adversary that entered that house assaulting the grandmother, and the young man, 20-30 years old, ran to grandfather and said, "Grandfather, our grandma is being attacked, defend us." Then they all queue behind the grandfather for the grandfather to take the battle.
That old man.
Those people are failed because those young men have failed.
Of course,
they are failed. And these were not only going for a grandfather, but they are going for someone who's, even if the prophet comes to them and says, "Let's quicken the bones. Let those bones come back to life." The bones were invisible now. Look, CPP should get his act together. Nkrumah preach an ideology. They should take that as a living Nkrumah and see it as a duty on a daily basis. How can we impart this ideology in people, and how can we use it to change people's life? But if you're not going to celebrate and you are not going to rebury, go and drink akpetesi and this, it's a waste of time.
Yes, we brought him back.
It's a waste of time.
Well,
it's a waste of time
because the mausoleum it had been built already.
It's a complete waste of time. They should be telling us what they've done with Nkrumah's name, what they've done. They believe in Nkrumah. What have they done? To what extent have they capitalized on what he achieved? Ideology to be able to impact lives. Everybody said, "Yeah, Nkrumah, what are you doing? You're Nkrumah, but you invited." Look, when CPP helped Akufo-Addo to win power, they claimed they were Nkrumah, right?
Yeah.
When Indum was appointed the Minister for Public Sector Reforms, and he was on the ballot of Nkrumah, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did they put Nkrumah's vision, ideas in discharge of his duty? A lot of ACP people were appointed. They should tell us this is what we did to show that if Nkrumah were alive, or if we had been given the opportunity, as those who believe in Nkrumah's ideology would have done more. They leave them, suffered, but they can even tell you today that, but for Nikla be the deputy, probably certain policies will have been passed. Are you getting me? That okay? They also brought their signature a little bit to bear on the government. CPP should tell us when they had opportunity to serve within Akufo's government, what did they do?
I think we'll get Mr. Kiti Yosin to come and explain that. He might have the vision of Nkrumah.
Kiti Yosin, we say good morning to you, my brother.
Okay, listeners, we want to say thank you very much for joining us. But on your screens at the moment, you will see what is going to be happening this evening on the Property Hour Show. KB Boxman and Vicky Newton coming your way. They're going to be having a special guest, Emmanuel Entwi, and he's a property investor, entrepreneur, and trainer, director, Ika Homes, and they'll be looking at starting your property investment journey and scaling up Okay, so you want to start from somewhere and then scale up. You want to know more, exactly at 7 p.m. join KB Botsman and Vicky Newton on that program. But before then, there will be another repeat broadcast of the BB Means Business show that took place last Tuesday. So make a date with BB Clement on that one as well. But this afternoon, lots of music going to be coming your way. We call it more music, less talk. Going to be coming your way. On that note, we want to say have a lovely, jubbly afternoon, and then we'll see you all tomorrow, God willing, for the Thank God It's Friday edition of the morning show. So until we meet again, it's me, Archie, and Mr. Frank Davis saying bye bye for now. Enjoy this song from Bessa Simons. It says Belembe. When it ends and you don't hear from us, it's us. Bye.
Thanks for listening.